Yes, it is that time of year, the biannual State of the Blackness address. I will be your tour director. My name is Propaganda, and this is Hood Politics with Prop, the State of the Blackness address, Part 1, 2025. Matt dropped the track on him. Okay, welcome. The biannual State of the Blackness address. 2025 has been quite a show so far. I know we all feel like this, that January was such a long month and then we blinked and it was June. We're already here. So many things have happened. So let's stop and let's take a second to acknowledge the blackness. Now, last year came out swinging with Club Shay Shay, and you have an unusual alliance with losers, and that's not like you, and all the things that your boy Cat Williams gave us. Oh man, it came out so fun. We had the guy that jumped over the bench, went flying to tackle the lady after he got sentenced. We had some good ones. And of course, last year gave us the fall of Drake and the Kendrick and Drake that gave us They Not Like Us. And man, the culture was very strong. And probably, I think now we can say like the biggest and greatest diss song in all of hip hop. I don't know, man. I used to think I thought all the Kendrick songs were amazing, of course, West, but were they in the history of hip hop? I'm like, I think Ether has been dethroned. I think it's hard to defeat it. I'm realizing I'm not wearing my headphones now. That's why I don't hear myself. There we go. Anyway, I'm really tired because of the club ruined yesterday. And shout out Ian, dude. Ian pulled up. Producer Ian that produces a lot of these clubs, Cool Zone Media shows. Ian came out with his lovely better half, and we had us a good time. So yeah, 2025, State of the Blackness. Let's get to it. First, you got to start off in January with the LA fires. Now, why we got to start there is because while a lot of the news was covering what was happening in the Palisades and Malibu, a lot of our local eyes were on the city of Altadena. I know I did a small, short kind of breakdown of Altadena inside of the Block is Literally Hot episode when I talked about the LA fires. And Altadena is the northern part of Los Angeles County on the east side in the foothills under the Angeles Mountains. Now, the Hollywood Hills is a part of a mountain range, right? With a valley in between, which is how you get over to the valley. But that range kind of stretches up and it becomes like I said, the Angeles Crest all the way over to the Azusa Mountains down to Mount Baldy, and then you get out to Big Bear as you're going east or inland. But nestled at the foothills of the east side is an enclave called Altadena. And Altadena was one of the few standing Black communities that most likely, I think it's fair to say that most likely your grandma lived in Altadena. She probably bought a house right after the Vietnam War because this was one of the first middle class, working class, middle class Black neighborhoods where you could you could get an affordable home working a regular ass job. Now, as time went on, those homes became quite pricey because one, their location, and two, their build. They're these like super dope kind of brick mid-century modern, like it just it's just a great neighborhood. You know, Merce talked about how when he moved to the 626, that's where his church was. A lot of times, if you lived in the rest of the spots, like down in West Covina or Baldwin Park, like you live with the Vatos, like a lot of times your barber was up in Altadena, you know, or in Pasadena, you know, the Pasadena Rubber Rebels, you know. That's a very local reference. But the loss of that neighborhood is something that, as far as locally has been concerned, was our focus. There was a African American library there. There was all these like kids programs that where a lot of us learned about the diaspora of Africa and drumming circles and stuff like that. Like if you wasn't going out to Lemert, you know, you were staying. Lemert Park is in the Crenshaw district, which is on the west side, and sometimes unfortunately, because of gang festivities and activities, that's sometimes not an option. But a lot of times you were moved as a child out of those areas, but you don't want to lose what it means to have a Black community. Just as simple as like where to get your hair grease, not having to explain what hair grease is. You know what I'm saying? Like those things become the seasonings. I remember I was trying to make some greens one time last summer. I just needed a smoked turkey leg. Whole Foods ain't got no smoked turkey leg. I went to the grocery store around here. Y'all know I live in a Mexican neighborhood. They're like, yo, we only have smoked turkey during the holidays, during Thanksgiving. So I'm like, yeah, I need to go to Altadena. Cause I was like, I need to go where Black people live. Cause I know they're gonna have ham hocks. They're gonna have the things I need just to cook. So sometimes, now granted, this Altadena and a lot of like ethnic neighborhoods were created because of redlining and because of prejudice. But inside of that, you create a community of the things that we all need. And those little things that I feel like a lot of times white people or people of the dominant culture, you know, really can't appreciate like why other ethnicities feel even more like a fish out of water when they're in, you know, neighborhoods that don't represent them. You know what I'm saying? It's little stuff like that. You know, I couldn't find the right kind of shampoo for a long time too, because that mug said, you go to the store and it said, this is for normal hair texture. I'm sorry, what? The hell is normal hair? Well, you know what they mean by that, don't you? Exactly. So little things like that, where I don't have to like concern myself. You know, Altadena is a beautiful, beautiful city. And most of the fundraisers focused around LA, especially again in the Black community, was around rebuilding Altadena. And it's still going on. There are still links in my bios to support a lot of these families. One of the people up there was Madlib. Madlib, again, in the state of hip hop, is a behemoth of a producer. The Mad Villain album that everybody talks about with MF Doom, Madlib. J-Lib is him and J Dilla, you know, the Champion Sound stuff. Man, Madlib is if you are a rapper, no matter what part of the country you're from, Madlib should be on your bucket list to get production from. Yeah, he lost his home too, you know, and there was a bunch of fundraisers that we've done in hopes to save his home and his record collections and those things. So rather than coming out swinging for Black people with funniness, we came out swinging with a little bit of pain. Next is the Ballad of P. Diddy. Y'all, this topic has clearly spanned a number of State of the Blacknesses because Diddy is now finally on trial. As we've known, Diddy was one of the worst kept secrets in Hollywood, hip hop, and black culture. We all knew that man was weird. Now, unfortunately, because homophobia is a normalized thing among the black community, although black queer is also a ginormous part of our culture. So weird how we do this. People still have kind of changed pause to, oh, no Diddy, which is essentially a way to say, I'm not gay. Like, I'm not doing gay stuff. Unfortunately, that the gayness was the line that the culture finally drew. But as the case is going on, we're seeing that man was even more bizarre than we all thought. The story about one of the male escorts said, no, this was Cassie's story, that she was forced to make love to this male escort while Diddy was in a hijab, like with just the little eyes showing, watching him get down. Boy, that man. Kid Cudi 2 for 2 with his mentor choices because both of them went crazy. Cudi said that man showed up at his house and set his car on fire. Obviously, he didn't do it himself. Why you set that man's car on fire? Did he look like he aged 72 years inside of jail? Oh, you know, you ain't got your skincare routine in the pen, do you? Listen. Oh, man. Diddy out here wilding. In the State of the Blackness, maybe let's stay in hip hop before we move into other topics. The continuation of Kendrick Lamar's curb stomping of the culture moves on while this tour, that the GNX tour that is now broken records for touring ever, and then he broke his own record as this tour went on as far as ticket sales. The argument against K-Dot, apparently, which I didn't agree with, was that he don't make bops, that he don't make hits, and that the songs are not made for radio. That's what everybody's argument with, like, Mr. Morale was like, there's no radio songs. He come back with these hits with SZA, of which he took on tour and gave her, which what I love about it, equal amount of time on stage, because he's just a good man. He continues to break streaming records. He continues to break tour ticket sale records and just continues to put the West on the map. Now, while that was happening, out on the East Coast, on the Beast Coast, my homeboy Joey Badass. Now, Joey is not my homeboy because I ain't never met this man, but we do share a manager, which would be like, damn, man, can y'all connect us, please? Anyway, what I love about this moment in hip hop is that it's kind of just for us, because the rest of the people I'm about to name, unless you really tapped into hip hop, you don't know who these people are. But if you're in our culture, this has been some of the funnest few months of bringing, which is what Kendrick said he tried to do, bring that competition back, that goon competition back, the sport of hip hop, the sport of battling, of beating your chest and spitting in bars and having something to come back, having a response. The competition part of hip hop that is about, we're sparring. This is art for art's sake. This is battle rap for battle rap's sake. There has been a battle going on between Joey Badass and essentially all of the West, right? Joey had said in a song a while back in reference to a line that Jay-Z said years ago, which was like, it's too much West Coast dick licking, right? he was making an observation that the West is up right now. The West is hot, you know, and y'all need to stop jocking this. Like, don't forget the East Coast started hip hop. Essentially, like, I feel a way that I'm not in the conversation about the top rappers of my era. This is Joey Badass's sort of premise. And like, y'all acting like New York don't run things still. And they don't. Partially, I believe, because New York gave up its sound. Because it started doing drill and like the A$AP Rocky stuff, the French Montana stuff. There was no way you'd know they were from New York because they don't have a sound. But Joey has that sound. Dudes like Griselda and you know, West Side Gun and all this stuff that they're doing is bringing a New York sound back. So in some senses, I feel like New York gave up its flavor, but it's cool to see it Pop Smoke. Like, y'all didn't know he was from New York unless somebody told you. He didn't sound like it. They're redefining their sound. Anyway, in this battle, he taking shots at the West, but Kendrick over it. So everybody else jumped in. Ray Vaughn is an artist on TDE also, and homie can rap. And then it became this like sort of a brawl because another man named Daylight. Now Daylight is super interesting because Daylight again comes from the battle scene, but he's from Watts, right? He also, his ghostwriting pen is insane. He wrote a number of Drake songs. He's also very close with Ab Soul. And you have to remember about the thing about Ab Soul, who's also a part of Top Dog. Ab Soul of Black Hippie. Black Hippie is J-Rock, Kendrick, Schoolboy Q, and Ab Soul, like the kind of the founding members of Top Dog Entertainment. Of them, Kendrick's obviously the hit maker, the star of the show. J-Rock's the street goon, you know, and then Schoolboy is the like almost like the melodic street goon. You feel me? Ab Soul, that's the rapper's rapper. That's the caviar. Like the we would be here for 7 months trying to break down his lyrics. Like, he's the wordplay, intricate. Like I'd said before, which I love it. He's like backpack rap with a gat in it. Like, so it's a backpacker, but he got a gun in it because he's still a street dude. But he's the caviar. Now, when he got in, there's Red Bull has this thing where they do this like 360 cypher. The first one I saw was of Souls of Mischief. But what they do is they get like 3 or 4 rappers in and they spit, you know, freestyles, not like I call freestyles, but freestyles into this thing. And this one was Big Sean, Joey, and Ab Soul. Now, Joey had already taken shots at Daylight and at Ray Vaughn, but because they're all friends, right? Ab Soul finally addresses it in this circle where he was like, listen, Joey, you put me in this predicament that like, I know me and you are friends, but it's not like I'm not going to stand with my syndicate. You know what I'm saying? He's taking shots at Joey standing there. And then when it's Joey's turn, Joey taking shots at Ab standing there. So for a few weeks, Reason, Daylight, Ray Vaughn, Joey Badass, these are like, again, you're not in the culture. These are rappers, right? They are spitting. Because Gina Views is part of this show called Effective Immediately with DJ Head. Gina was like, I'm tight, get off the internet and get in the booth. Like, nigga, rap. Why are y'all not rapping? Rap, right? And guess what? Niggas is rapping. But the beauty of this is everyone agrees in this that we are having fun, as vicious and cutting as these words are. This is almost like black people getting to be black without the white gaze. How do we talk when y'all not around? When we don't have to worry about things being misinterpreted. This is what's happening inside of hip hop right now. When you ain't got to explain, there's no New York Times. I don't have to explain to you why BBL Drizzy is funny. Like, I don't like, this is one of those things where it's like, cool, we get to just speak our own language. We ain't got to translate and just enjoy what's happening in hip hop right now. That's what's going on right now, man. And it is fun. And they're all talking about how fun it is. The homie Curtis King was like, listen, bro, if you were gonna hop online and play 2K or Madden with your friends, you gonna talk trash. I'm trying to win. I am truly trying. I'm trying to destroy you. This is the same in hip hop. This is what I love. This is what I fell in love about battle rap, is after telling someone the worst possible things you could ever say to somebody, we all left and went to Denny's. This stuff isn't personal. This is fun. If you were slapboxing with your friends outside, yeah, there's rules, but we're still being physical. I'm gonna get slapped in the face. And I want you to try. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you playing pickup ball, like that's another way to equate battle rap. Like this, it's like street ball. Like, you know, these are pickup games. There's gonna be more elbows. It's gonna be a little more aggressive, but you gotta hold your mud. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stand your ground. You gotta spit back, and the best bars win. This is also what's beautiful about this moment. It's like, without the gaze of pop culture talking about numbers and streams and all that good stuff, that's not a part of the conversation, because these artists have not poked into mainstream or pop culture. These are rappers. So all this is about is bars. And it's been good to enjoy this with hip hop, because this is something we needed. You know, you get Mac Miller's death, you get Pop Smoke's death, you know, Triple X, Atacion, all these like really sad stories. You got Young Thug, all these rappers going to jail, you know, just not a good look. This was a moment we all needed. Moving out of hip hop, let's go to a little more politics next. For some reason this year, it kind of worked, where black people got real solidified over Target. And I think partially because Target took such serious strides towards being present for us in supporting black businesses. And then when DEI was attacked, they removed their DEI program. Here's where this becomes complicated. They still sold the products, the black products that they already had. They just decided to stop being upfront about it. Now, it's not so much that we care as black people about the name DEI. It's the principle of it, in the sense that you stood up for us, and when the white supremacists came to tell you to stop doing it, you just folded. And I know you folded in a way that was supposed to be looking at us and winking, saying, oh, we're still good. We're just going to, you know. But when you just wink and look over there and say, I'm still going to do it, but I'll still please you by changing this name, you still give them a win, because they still believe that they have the authority to bully you. And that perception, the visual and the belief, is all they need. Because then they're going to come do it again. And then you're going to change the name again and try to figure it out. Either way, you're still taking a submissive position to a group that needs to understand the principalities of the thing. So black people decided, some of it was organized through church. Others was just organized through social media, that we was just going to not shop at Target no more then. The businesses that were in Target, they all got websites. We'll still support y'all. You don't have to lose money because of this. So we still buy their products. We just not shopping at Target. Target, they took a massive L. Black people used to spend $12 million a day at Target. That's gone. They made that CEO get a 50% pay cut because black folks decided we was done shopping there. It's crazy that when we actually decide, when we finally done, when you get to the go ahead, chief, you got a champ. When we get to that, like when we're done, which is what's going on with Kanye. We're done. That's why he's not on the news no more. We're done. Sell your swastikas. Go ahead, bro. Niggas is over it. It's one thing I do enjoy about us is we are long suffering. We will stick with you for a while, but when we done, that's it, cuz. It's all you. You got it, chief. Stick it in the politics section. Larry Hoover, founder of the Gangsta Disciples. Leonard Peltier, freedom fighter from the 60s. Political prisoner. And believe this, NBA YoungBoy. All got released from prison. Larry Hoover specifically and NBA YoungBoy got their sentence commuted from the Trump organization. Now, no one could have imagined this timeline, that this would happen. Come here, black people. Y'all get it. What the lick read? The lick is to exploit the divide of gender among the black community, because we're having some sort of a civil war among us. And Trump is making strides in gaining support with black men. Part of that is because we trying to get this money. And we just want to be getting money, motherfuckers. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? But it's complicated. And then when you start doing stuff like this, because we understand prison reform, we understand our need to, like, a lot of young brothers have been put in jail, you know, on some trumped up charges. So this is supposed to feel good. Now, this is not to belittle any of the things that Larry Hoover has done to better himself. I'm not putting that aside. I'm talking about Trump's. We rereading Trump's lick, because this man may do these gestures to try to make us feel better, but this the same man that's ending Head Start programs, the same man that looked at our Haitian brothers and sisters and was like, they eating pets, literally eating cats and dogs. That's what they said about our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. This the shithole countries, man. This the same man that's removing the Medicaid, that's making Medicaid hard for Madea and them. That man don't love you. And I feel like we understand this because I have a lot of the similar memories you have when the pusher come through the city or come through the neighborhood in the Cadillac, you start handing out $20 bills or taking us all to the ice cream truck, you know, doing backpack drives. You feel me? But that man is why your auntie strung out. That man is why you went to your cousin's funeral last week. He may tell you he's sorry and promise to take care of you and your mother, you and your auntie, your cousin, your auntie. He promised to take care of him. But I tell you what, he also got him killed. So I need you to remember that. This man is really not on your side. That being said, welcome home to NBA YoungBoy and Larry Hoover. Now, I brought up Leonard Peltier because, can you believe it? Do your Googles. All right, next is our continual war with state-sponsored violence. Rodney Hilton Jr. This happened out there in Cincinnati, Ohio, where a young man and his friends stole a car and were pursued by the police. One of them hopped out the car. The cop says he saw a gun. The guy dropped the gun and ran. The little boy took 4 shots to his back and died. After the little boy's father got to see the police surveillance video, he was so distraught that the next day he drove his car into an officer who was directing traffic. The complications of this story puts the reality of radicalization into focus even more, because this is a sad story for all parties involved. It's a clear case of temporary insanity, but also it is what I've been trying to tell y'all about Palestine. It's that state-sponsored violence always creates terrorism. I don't know of any terrorist group that wasn't a response to state-sponsored violence. So the continual insurgent force that is the police department in America towards, or at least what it feels like towards Black people, is going to eventually drive us to these types of actions. So this man was like, listen, you're not going to see justice. These people killed my son, and now they protecting the man that killed my son. I don't know if you know, but Derek Chauvin is getting out also by the same administration that freed Larry Hoover. So don't think this man is for us. Derek Chauvin is the person that killed George Floyd. So Rodney was on trial, Rodney Hilton Jr., and gave us one of the most epic moments where 30 officers showed up for this trial for his arraignment, and that man chin up, full of pride, like, you not gonna have me down, you not gonna have me sad. I stood up for my son. I found justice for my son because I know you would never do this for me. So he kept his head up. Now, I'm sure you're not asking me this because you listen to the show and you know what it is, that I am not giving a defense for vigilantism or murder. I'm not. I'm saying I understand it. This is what I'm saying. I am a father. And sometimes watching movies and I'm seeing somebody's child, if the parents are a part of the storyline and you see somebody's child going through some suffering, if you care about your fathering, it's hard for me to see that without feeling like deep feelings and emotions, and sometimes rage. Like, I'm like, boy, I wish you would talk to my daughter like that. I wish you would put my child's life in danger. Like, you feeling froggy, then jump. So I think I understand that. And lastly, in the state of the blackness, the memes. Ladies and gentlemen, 20 Drew Hills. Now, a father saw his son being disrespectful to his mother. And if you understand something about the black nuclear family, we don't play. Not about our wives. Ain't no way in the world you gonna let your child be disrespectful to their mother. That's something we just don't, we don't abide by that. And especially if it's your boy. Now, I have daughters, so that's a different story, but black men and their sons, when it talks about how, when you think about how you want your boys to treat their mama, boy, you been not in my presence. I bet not ever see you be out of pocket with your mother. That's it. That's not something we play around with. So a lot of men I've seen, my homeboy Triune makes their kid do he used to make his stepson, do laps. So he would go to the high school on the court and he'd have to make him run laps. The homie Lecrae used to have his kids do wall sits, right? We're trying to break these generational curses of whipping our children. Okay, so forgive us. But this man said, we doing 20 Drew Hills. Now, if you know 90s R&B, you already know exactly what he talking about. It is a dance from a video that has a step and a jump. And it's almost a burpee. Because when he said, I gave my son 20 Drew Hills, we all knew exactly what he meant. And then the video cut to his son doing because it's a workout. My man said 20 Drew Hills. And lastly, 100 men versus one gorilla. You may or may not know, but that whole discussion actually came out of Black Twitter. Now, I know there is no such thing as Twitter anymore, but it actually comes from Black Twitter is a stand-in term just for Black social media. Started off on Reddit a long time ago, got brought back via the Black social media pipeline, and then spilled out to the rest of the world, charting out some of the greatest moments of extraness about stuff that don't matter. People writing out charts, bringing in anthropologists and people who study apes. Just sometimes we just need some fun. Another trend in social media, which has to do with sort of all of this, is how, for the most part, a lot of the anti-Trump rallies don't have no Black people there. A lot of the anti-fascism ones don't really have Black people there. Let me tell you why. Because we tried to tell you. We fought all we could. We told y'all about this man. Ain't nobody, we tried. We did a whole movement in 2020. Got laws changed. Really saw some results. Just for y'all to put this man back in charge again, you know what? Y'all got it. Y'all got it. And it's not so much that we don't want to stand in solidarity with you. It's that this your turn. My feet hurt. I've been trying. But I tell you what, I'm going to go on to this brunch and mimosas. You let me know how it goes. So I can say the state of the Blackness is strong. We still got the rest of the year to go. We're going to see the complete fall of Diddy. And hopefully we keep the city laughing, because that's how we handle things. Hood politics. All right, now don't you hit stop on this pod. You better listen to these credits. I need you to finish this thing so I can get the download numbers, okay? So don't stop it yet. But listen, this was recorded in East Los Boyle Heights by your boy Propaganda. Tap in with me at prophiphop.com. If you're into cold brew coffee, we got Terraform Cold Brew. You can go there.com and use promo code HOOD, get 20% off, get yourself some coffee. This was mixed, edited, and mastered by your boy Matt Osowski, killing the beat softly. Check out his website, mattossowski.com. I'm going to spell it for you because I know. mattossowski.com, mattossowski.com. He got more music and stuff like that on there, so go and check out the heat. Hood Politics is a member of Cool Zone Media, executive produced by Sophie Lichterman, part of the iHeartMedia Podcast Network. Your theme music and scoring is also by the one and only Matt Osowski, still killing the beat softly. So listen, don't let nobody lie to you. If you understand urban living, you understand politics. These people is not smarter than you. We'll see y'all next week.